which is like Sicilian street food. Well, it's famous in Sicily because they came up with it, and you can find them everywhere there, but they kind of serve this all over Italy. They are Italian rice balls of goodness. It's like rice and cheese and like ragu in there. It's delicious. And it's the perfect food for like traveling. In fact, if you drive across Italy and you stop in the big auto grills, like the gas stations that are fancy in Italy, a lot of the times they have arancini. So we're gonna learn how to make that today. This is an awesome dish if you have a bunch of rice left over, or if you just like to cook with rice, or maybe you're gluten-free or something like that. This would be good for you. This is also a great idea if you wanna cook ahead of time. So let's say that you've got a soccer game in the morning and then y'all gotta come home and eat lunch and you want it to be quick. You could prep these ahead of time, come home and fry them, and they'll be ready in like 3 minutes. And it's a great lunch. So let me show you how to make arancini. So to make arancini, you can use your hands, and people will like put the rice in their hands and cup it and kind of make it into a cone shape. Or you can just get this on Amazon. It's like an arancini maker. And yeah, this is way better. Go ahead and get this because it'll make it really compact and not fall apart when you're cooking it. The way you start making arancini is you start to prep the rice and the ragu. So make sure it's really flavorful, because all of the flavor is gonna come from the rice. Like the rice and the ragu have to be full of flavor. You can't just add salt later and expect it to taste good. So you're gonna work on making this rice, and I've got all this listed out in the recipe, my recipe book, how to make this. But honestly, if you don't wanna follow tradition, you know, make the rice that you always make at home. If you make like, I don't know, flavored Spanish rice, or like something else that you love that's full of flavor, you can make that rice and use it for arancini, and you can make yours with a twist. Make that and let it cool. You're also gonna make yourself some ragu. So I have already made my ragu, and I also have a recipe for this. This is bolognese, but they also put peas in this recipe for the ragu. I don't like peas. Like, that's the tradition of arancini, is that there's peas in it, but I hate it, so I didn't put peas in mine. And then you're gonna need to get mozzarella. So you're gonna wanna get some fresh mozzarella, like that's in a ball, like a whole ball, or you can get it sliced, and then you just cube it up, and you're gonna have mozzarella cubed. And I also cut up some ham just because I had it in the fridge. You can put that in there too. Like, it's okay to add little things and cheat here and there if you want. So then you're gonna need to get breadcrumbs, some oil for frying, and also a little bit of flour and water, and that's pretty much what we're gonna need. So let's get started. Okay, so we've got our main ingredients: the saffron rice, some chopped up mozzarella, some bolognese sauce, ragu with meat in it, and some breadcrumbs. You're also gonna need a bowl with some flour, water, we'll do that later, and some oil, frying oil. Okay, so I've got my arancini maker, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna use this. So I'm just gonna take out my rice and stick it in my little thing here. Put some in there. Then you're gonna take this and you're gonna stuff it. Okay, and that creates a hole like that. And then you're gonna start to put in some of your things. So I'm gonna put in some ragu. And then I'm gonna put in some of my cheese. And I'm gonna put a little bit more ragu. Okay, then you're gonna put more rice because you gotta close it. So put some rice in there. Okay, and then you're gonna take the opposite side here and you're gonna close the bottom. And looks like I could put a little bit more rice. Okay, and then you're gonna take off the top, and you're gonna empty this out, and then you're gonna get this beautiful little cone. And that's the first step. So let's make a couple of those. Sometimes you need to like put it on a table and do it. And mine kind of was crooked, but that's okay. Put some sauce. Gonna add some cheese. Gonna add a little bit more sauce. And then I'm gonna put my rice. I always end up getting my hands involved. It's inevitable when you really care, you know. All right, stick that in there and then take the top off. There we go. Okay, and I think I have enough for one more. This is a great thing you could do with your kids. You could just make them make dinner, you know? Prepare the stuff, make them make the rest. Especially little ones. They like to feel like they can contribute. Put some of this in there. I'm gonna add a little bit more sauce and then some rice. And my husband just had to leave to go on a work trip, and he had to take the train over here in Italy, and so I just popped these in the oven for him to heat them back up, and he ate this on the train. So this is a great little travel companion. All right, now I'm gonna show you how to coat it. So you're gonna start by getting out some flour. I've got, I'm gonna maybe put like a cup of flour in here and a little bit of water. Gonna mix that together. You're trying to make a coating, so let me get some more. Okay, want to have a little floury coating before we coat with the breadcrumbs, because that will help it to stick together and not fall apart when you fry it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your arancino and you're gonna just kind of coat it in the flour really quickly, like that, and then you're gonna dump it this in a clean way, but coat your arancino with the flour, with the breadcrumb mixture. And let me tell you, the flavor is gonna come from everywhere here. So what matters is your breadcrumbs need to be flavored, your rice needs to be flavored, the ragu needs to have good flavor. All of that combined is gonna make a really good, tasty arancino. You can't just sprinkle salt at the end and think it's gonna be salty enough. So, you know, flavor your breadcrumbs if you have to. So what's funny is in Italy, they don't have like Italian breadcrumbs like you get from Walmart in the States that are flavored full of like, you know, onion powder and like garlic powder and all like the different herbs. In Italy, breadcrumbs are literally breadcrumbs, that's it. And you get them from like the bread section at the bakery or like in the store, and they're not flavored. So they're kind of plain. So I always have to flavor mine. Anyway, so this is what it looks like, and you're gonna set that aside and do that for all of them. And then, so go ahead and do that. There's no way to keep your hands clean. It's just, girl, you can't be having people like ringing your doorbell when you're doing this. Do this when nobody's home. Every time my hands are dirty like this, my kids need everything. They're like, can you help me do my homework? Can you help me take apart this thing? And I'm like, my hands are dirty. Okay. I'm sure there's Italians out there who have a better method for coating this. This is just kind of, you know, not perfect. So I made my 3 arancini, and I'm gonna stick this in the fridge now for like 30 minutes. That helps, it's gonna help it to not fall apart in the oil. 3 things are helping us to make our arancini really compact and not fall apart. This can happen with a lot of things that you fry. So we're using the arancino maker that I got from Amazon, because you just can't compare the compactness of the rice when you're using something like that versus when you use your hands. Like when you use your hands, you got to form it like this, kind of like in that shape or in a ball, and it's just not going to be as tight. So that's the first thing. The other thing was rolling it in the flour water. That's another step that's going to help us, and sticking it in the fridge for 30 minutes. That also helps it to just stay together. So now we're going to pour our oil into the pan and start to get that going in about 10 minutes and heat that up. I wanted to say, because I don't know if everyone has the same cooking knowledge. Like, you can't assume that people know how to do things. Don't use olive oil to fry. Sounds funny to say this, but maybe you don't know. Olive oil is not going to be the oil of choice here because olive oil is highly expensive. But that's not the real reason. Olive oil is precious. And you wouldn't want to waste it on frying, and plus it doesn't have a high burning point, so it's just not the oil. So you're going to use like a basic seed oil or like, you know, vegetable oil, something like that to fry. I've got some oil that I've already used once. That's the other tip here, is you don't have to throw out oil when you use it once. You can put it, let it cool, put it back in the container and use it a second time. How do I know this? I used to work in restaurants, and no one throws out that much oil from one use. Don't put your oil down the drain. You can just let it cool and put it back in the container and throw the container away. Okay, so you're gonna put it in a pot, like a deeper pot, and it needs to be enough oil to cover the arancino. So this is a deep fry. A shallow fry would be like a saute. Deep fry means you're covering the item with oil. Get out a plate and prepare for the after part of this, and just get out like my paper towels. If you don't have one of these tools, this is a great one for frying. You can find this all over Italy. This is like their pasta tool, or they use this for all kinds of things, or you can just use whatever frying tool you have. I was gonna say, if you're new to cooking, what matters a lot is tasting constantly, like tasting as you go. And also like letting other people taste in the house, because you may have a certain level of saltness and others may have a different level, and they may think that it's not salty enough for them. You know, it's good to have like that feedback going on in the house. So salting and flavoring everything, every component, is also a great trick. Like, you can't just throw salt in the ragu and not in the rice and think it's gonna be good enough, or salt after. So one thing that Italy has taught me is that if you have to salt your food when it gets to the table, you didn't cook right. Your food should be salted along the way as you're cooking to absorb it, so you don't have to salt it after. So you should be flavoring your food as you go. Whenever you make the saffron rice, you're going to be adding things to it as you go. I made mine by boiling the water, salted water, then cooking it down, then adding saffron, butter, Parmesan cheese, mixing, tasting it. That's how I made my saffron rice. And then when I was 100% positive, like this is a great flavor on its own, then I moved on to the ragu, and you let that cook down and you taste it several times along the way. Okay, so it might be go time here. Let's test our oil. We're gonna take a little piece of something you've got, a crumb, and you're gonna place it in there. If I can get it off. And you see how it comes to the top? It's probably ready. So you don't want to wait too long for your oil, because then you could have a fiery disaster. Just dip it in here like this and see if it's ready. Oh yeah, it's ready. And we're gonna let that start to cook up. I'm gonna place 3 of them in there. Oh, it's cooking along. And you wanna make sure you're cooking it, I would say like 3 minutes, because you want to make sure that the cheese melts. It's got to cook long enough so it's hot, obviously, but the cheese inside has to melt. That's when you know you got a good one. So mine's looking golden brown, but don't let that fool you. Sometimes your food could be golden brown because the temperature is too high, and it may not be hot on the inside. So you got to really keep practicing and learn as you go. All right, I got one right here. Looks pretty good. Oops. I had to put my hair up because, girl, it's getting hot in here. Don't want to fry my hair off. And I got my last one. Okay. And I'm just gonna throw a little bit of salt on here. And that is the arancini. Let's cut one open so you can see what it looks like. And see what it looks like on the inside. And that's what it looks like. Look at this. That's what you should see on the inside. And I think we did a good job with how much sauce we put in there. It seems pretty balanced out. Enjoy. It's good. Everything I make is delicious. Have you ever seen anyone say on a cooking show that their food was bad? They're all like, it was so good. Well, no one says the truth if it's not good. I'm just waiting for someone to say, oh no, it's not the best. This is the best, like, traveling food. Make it ahead of time, put some in a container and send your husband on the train, or have it ready for like those days when you're gonna be out all day and you need to come home and have something quick to eat. This is a great idea. You can make this gluten-free. You could make it vegetarian, and also lactose-free. So it's pretty versatile. Thanks for watching, guys. You can get the recipe in my recipe book, link in the description, and see you next time.